Professor Melville Seymour, Director of Tourism Research, Economics, Environment and Society, is joining me on Skype. He's just taken part in a study that's found new information about the consumption of rhino horn in Vietnam. Now, Professor, rhino poaching has increased 5,000% since 2008. Why is this?
Well, I think the biggest reason is that the consumption has increased, or let me put it this way, the demand for rhino horn, specifically in the main market, of which Vietnam is the main market, has increased. I think added to that, as a possible reason, is that the disposable income of people has also increased over the past few years, and that has played, I think, a major role in terms of how many people and how many people would like to consume a rhino horn.
Now, you wrote a report called How to Curb the Rhino Hangover, and this was based on some research that was done on Vietnam, one of the main markets when it comes to rhino horn. What is the rhino hangover?
Okay, just so that and people understand. Firstly, as I said, Vietnam is our biggest market for rhino horn, and my view has always been that we need to understand the consumer, because the consumer determines the demand, and the only way that you will be able to do that is to actually do research in that particular market, which is what we did. We have appointed a Vietnamese researcher, and he did the field work in Vietnam to find out what is the usage, the preference, and the motivation behind that. And the main results actually then came, as we went through the statistics, the main results showed that nearly 80% of the use is for health purposes. And then when you look at the health purposes, if you break it down, then it is basically for hangovers and to detox, which is, I guess most probably a similar thing. And only a very small percentage of 7% had to do with issues pertaining to cancer. And why that is important is because previously we've always been informed that the main reason why people in Vietnam uses this rhino horn is for cancer, because it can prevent it, or at least when someone has cancer, it can somehow, solve the problem. So our focus has all along been at the wrong place. Instead of looking, at hangovers, which I think is easier to deal with than cancer.
Now, I want to speak about those hangovers in just a second. Let's unpack some of the research that was done. Were people forthcoming with information when they found out that we wanted to really understand why they were using rhino horn?
Yes, I mean, they were quite open in terms of the questionnaire. It was given to them so they could do it, confidentially, and then we basically got the information back. So we never we never had the opportunity, or we didn't go the route of identifying a person and the questionnaire to basically reveal their identity. So it was done anonymously. So they were quite open about it.
Now, how many people were surveyed?
Just over 600.
600, and the majority of them were using rhino horn to cure or remedy their hangover.
Correct. As I said, it was more than 40% was for hangovers, and another 30% to detox. Which gives you a high percentage of why they use it. But I think over and above that, the results also showed that 47% of the sample used rhino horn before, which I think is significant to understand. And again, if you take it in the context of the country, which has about 90 million people, although our sample was very specified or specific in terms of the consumer, which is males and your kind of like middle upper class male or income bracket males, it is a huge market.
Why is it important to note that these people surveyed, most of them had used rhino horn before?
Well, I think the important part of that is to understand, the current usage as well as the potential for this to grow. And as more people earn more, this most probably will continue and will most probably grow at a rapid, at a bigger rate. And I think that is the crucial part to understand and to know.